Now Saki doesn't look right. His hands are down. He's eating punches and kicks.
You can survive a punch to the jaw. You can even eat a head kick. But when a liver shot lands, the fight is over before you even realize it. Today, we're counting down the top 10 most brutal liver shots in MMA history. In this video, we're going deep into the body shots that shut down world-class fighters in an instant. Stick with me, because not only will we relive these jaw-dropping moments, but you'll also walk away with a whole new respect for one of MMA's deadliest weapons. And here's how we're going to make this countdown different. Instead of just showing clips and calling them brutal, I'll break down the setup, the technique, the reaction, and the aftermath of each shot. Plus, I'll explain the science behind why a liver shot shuts down even the toughest fighters on earth. Number 10. Bas Rutten vs. Jason Delucia, 1996, Pancrase. Bas Rutten is a name you're going to hear more than once on this list, because if anyone deserves the title Godfather of the Liver Shot, it's him. In his fight against Jason Delucia, Bas showed why body shots can be even more terrifying than headshots. With an open-hand strike, yes, not even a closed fist, Bas drove his palm directly into Delucia's liver. The reaction was immediate. Delucia collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. The pain is so sharp, so paralyzing, that there's no toughing it out. Even Bas himself has explained in interviews that once the liver is hit cleanly, your body shuts down whether you want it to or not. This wasn't just a finish, it was an announcement to the MMA world. Bas Rutten's liver shots were the real deal. Number 9. Donald Cowboy Cerrone vs. Matt Brown, UFC 206, 2016. When you think of Cowboy Cerrone, you think of flashy head kicks and highlight reel knockouts. But in his fight against Matt Brown, Cerrone showed just how sneaky he could be with his striking. The fight was already a war. Brown, known for his toughness, had taken heavy damage. But what sealed his fate wasn't a shot to the head. Cerrone faked high, then dug a perfectly timed kick into Brown's liver. Brown didn't just drop. He folded. His knees buckled. His arms instinctively wrapped around his body, and he hit the canvas with no chance of recovery. The beauty of this knockout wasn't just its brutality, it was the setup. Cowboy disguised it behind his usual head kick feints, and Brown never saw it coming. Number 8. Anthony Pettis vs. Donald Cerrone, UFC on Fox 6, 2013. This wasn't the first time Cowboy fell victim to the liver. In their first fight, Anthony Showtime Pettis came in with something to prove. People expected flashy kicks off the cage, but instead Pettis delivered something far more devastating. A body kick straight to Cerrone's liver. The sound of that kick echoed through the arena. Cerrone immediately crumbled against the cage, holding his side unable to stand. What made this finish stand out was the sheer violence of it. Pettis didn't just land, he drove through the kick, showing how devastating precision combined with power can be. For Pettis, it was a career-defining moment. For Cerrone, it was another reminder that the liver doesn't forgive. Number 7. Liam McGeary vs. Tito Ortiz, Bellator 142, 2015. Tito Ortiz was one of the pioneers of MMA, a legend, a Hall of Famer, and one of the toughest fighters to ever step into the cage. But against Liam McGeary, even Tito wasn't safe. Midway through the fight, McGeary unleashed a kick that dug deep into Tito's body. It didn't look like much at first, but within seconds, Tito's face twisted in agony, and his body betrayed him. He staggered backward, clutching his side, unable to fight through it. That's the thing about the liver. Even legends crumble when it's hit clean. Tito Ortiz was as tough as they come, but against biology, nobody wins. Number 6. Mirko Cro Cop vs. Wanderlei Silva, Pride 2006. When fans think of Mirko Cro Cop Filipovic, they think of head kick knockouts, right leg hospital, left leg cemetery. That was his reputation. But in his fight with Wanderlei Silva, Cro Cop reminded the world that he wasn't just a headhunter, he targeted the body. And with one brutal left kick, he slammed Silva's liver. Wanderlei, a fighter famous for absorbing insane punishment to the head, couldn't stand. He doubled over, visibly shaken, showing how even the most feared brawlers can't withstand a liver shot. Cro Cop's bodywork often gets overlooked because of his iconic head kicks, but this fight proved that his arsenal was complete. Number 5. Gokhan Saki vs. Henrique da Silva, UFC Fight Night 117, 2017. When kickboxing legend Gokhan Saki made his UFC debut, fans expected fireworks, and he delivered. Facing Henrique da Silva, Saki showed off his striking pedigree, crisp punches, brutal kicks, and lethal combinations. But it was his bodywork that stood out. Midway through the fight, Saki dug into da Silva's liver with a perfectly placed shot. The reaction was textbook. Da Silva's body locked up, his guard dropped, and the finish was inevitable. For Saki, it was the perfect way to announce himself to UFC fans. Yes, headshots are flashy, but body shots end fights just as brutally. Number 4. Bas Rutten vs. Frank Shamrock, Pancrase, 1994. We're back to Bas, because honestly, you can't talk about liver shots without him. In his fight against Frank Shamrock, Rutten unleashed a series of body strikes that showcased just how methodical he could be. He didn't just throw wild shots. He set traps, targeted the liver, and once he landed clean, Shamrock couldn't continue. What made Bas special wasn't just his power, it was his dedication to bodywork. While most fighters chased headshots, Bas knew that the liver was the ultimate kill switch. This fight solidified his reputation as the master of liver strikes. Number 3. Jose Aldo vs. Jeremy Stephens, UFC on Fox 30, 2018. Few knockouts in modern UFC history capture the sheer violence of a liver shot like this one. Jeremy Stephens came in swinging, confident in his power. But Jose Aldo, the former featherweight king, reminded everyone why he was once considered one of the greatest strikers in MMA. Stephens threw heavy, Aldo slipped, and then, boom, a left hook to the liver landed flush. The delayed reaction was brutal. Stephens took a step back, tried to compose himself, and then his body gave out. He collapsed, writhing in pain, unable to defend himself as Aldo pounced for the finish. The crowd erupted. This wasn't just a win for Aldo. It was a statement that the king still had weapons most fighters could only dream of. Number 2. Gervonta Davis vs. Ryan Garcia, Boxing Bonus, 2023. Okay, this is a boxing fight, but it deserves a spot because it reminded the entire combat sports world of just how deadly a liver shot can be. When Gervonta Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia, fans expected fireworks, and in the 7th round, they got a shocking finish. Davis slipped Garcia's jab and dug a left hook straight into his liver. Garcia took a step back, tried to act like it was nothing, and then suddenly he dropped to a knee, unable to continue. The reaction was classic: delayed, unavoidable, and final. The ref counted Garcia out, and fans everywhere were reminded when the liver is hit, the fight is over. It's boxing, yes, but the science applies to MMA all the same. Number 1. Bas Rutten's legendary collection. And finally, number 1 couldn't just be one fight. It had to be the man himself, Bas Rutten. Throughout his career, Bas ended fight after fight with the same weapon, the liver shot. Palm strikes, hooks, body kicks, he did it all. What made him so deadly was his philosophy. While other fighters obsessed over headshots, Bas understood the human body. He knew that the liver was the real off switch, and he perfected the art of finding it, no matter how his opponent moved. Bas Rutten isn't just on this list, he is the list. The undisputed king of liver shot knockouts in MMA history. So why is the liver shot so effective? The liver is the largest internal organ in the body. It sits under your right rib cage and plays a vital role in filtering blood. When it's struck with force, it overstimulates the vagus nerve, sending shockwaves through the body. The result? Instant pain, shortness of breath, loss of strength, and often complete collapse. Unlike a headshot, you can't train your liver to take damage. Even the toughest fighters in the world can't will themselves through it. Once the shot lands clean, the fight is over. That's why fighters like Boss Rutten and Jose Aldo made such careers out of it, because it works every single time. And that's the beauty of the liver shot. It doesn't need to look flashy. It doesn't need to make a highlight reel. But when it lands, it's one of the most devastating weapons in combat sports. From Boss Rutten's legendary finishes to Jose Aldo's career revival, from Mirko Cro Cop's overlooked bodywork to Gervonta Davis showing the world its power in boxing, the liver shot proves that sometimes the fight-ending strike is the one you don't see coming. So now it's your turn. Which liver shot do you think was the most brutal in MMA history? Drop your pick in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next breakdown of MMA's most iconic finishes. Until next time, protect your body, because the liver shot spares no one.